Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Here with closing bell, and it's still holding steady. The Nifty just around that 11,470 mark, 470 to 480. It doesn't seem to be interested in 11,500, at least not today. Mid-caps have had a field day, and we've been discussing that. Sudip Bandopadhyay, Group Chairman of IndiTrade Capital, is with us now. Sudip, the one mid-cap that's really got everybody sitting up and take notice this week is HDIL. I mean, ever since the numbers came in out of nowhere, this is a stock that's gone up almost 30–40%. Have you sort of considered it on your horizon at all of late? Any thoughts?
Well, I think, the results have been fantastic, but honestly, it was not in our buying list. We haven't been recommending it. But having said that, I think looking at the result, it definitely shows a clear picture of the way forward. I think we have to re-evaluate whether to advise this investment or not. But having said that, we will still continue to prefer some of the large mid-cap companies which are related to the consumption theme, overall consumption theme, which we believe are still very, very attractively valued, and we will continue to focus on those yet.
Okay, by the way, just look at some of the stocks. There's some of the large mid-caps moving today. Cholamandalam Finance, just pull out the intraday chart on that one. That's moved to fresh intraday high. There are a lot of names like this. That's, of course, Cholamandalam Finance. And look at that big move taking place right now on that stock. PVR's intraday chart would be interesting. That stock making a bit of a move towards the high point. MRF is right now at the high point, highest point of the day. Britannia is at the highest point of the day. A lot of these non-nifty large cap stocks making a bit of a move here. Ashwani, your thoughts on some of these, the likes of Cholamandalam making a big move?
See, Cholamandalam has been doing that for a bit. I mean, a couple of days back also it went to the high point of the day when Bajaj Finance was also doing well. So this is one of the outperforming NBFCs. I think 1600, 1650 should happen here. Today, Nifty Junior is up 400, 450 points. So now it's possible that these stocks start to outperform as the Nifty hits new highs as well.
Sudip, it's been a wobbly week for metal stocks. I mean, they've been dancing to global tunes. But is there anything you would be interested in from a portfolio standpoint right now, whether it's on the ferrous side or even the non-ferrous plays?
Well, the aluminium side, particularly Nalco, looks good. I think overall metals, there is still, with a lot of facilities getting closed at China, I think the production demand, in future is going to sustain for the domestic aluminium producers. So I think amongst the domestic guys, I think Nalco looks at current valuation active, and one can recommend a buy at current valuation as far as Nalco is concerned. Overall metals, I'll still be cautious. Some of the steel companies looks interesting, and Tata Steel at current valuation looks interesting. In fact, they are not getting Bhushan is a blessing in disguise, and we strongly believe that. So with without Bhushan and Bhushan Power, I think Tata Steel looks good at current levels.
Okay, well, stock for all seasons. Page Industries, fresh high. Look at that stock. L&T Finance Holdings at new intraday high. Ultratech Cement. The point I'm trying to make here is that the Nifty, of course, is facing this bit of a resistance at 11,500. Normally taken out with a bit of a gap. But what really stands out today is, in the morning we're discussing that is the mid-cap rally perhaps getting slightly, low quality, and the Nifty Junior was not performing, for example. Today you have seen the junior stocks make a bit of a comeback, and in fact big comeback, to the likes of L&T Finance Holdings, Cholamandalam, Dalmia Bharat. Good quality stocks are making a bit of a move today, Surabhi.
Absolutely. Look at the week's rankings, and obviously Pharma really stands out. That's the one sector that's done the best in the week, and Sun Pharma has led from the front. Sudeep, on Sun itself, I mean, Sun is now 621 as we speak. 52-week highs are already here. Can this stock still be bought, or is it too late now to join the bandwagon?
Well, I think the performance this quarter surprised everybody on the street, and there has been significant buying after that. But on the pharma, we have a slightly differentiated strategy, Survi. What we have been recommending is a basket buy. Instead of buying only Sun Pharma, what we would recommend is buy a basket of 5-6 pharma stocks, which should include Sun Pharma, which should include Natco Pharma, which should include Aurobindo Pharma, Glenmark, Cadila, and Torrent Pharma. These 6 pharma stocks should be bought as a basket, because individual stocks, we have seen huge amount of volatility on account of US FDA issues and also other pricing issues coming from US. So it's always better to buy a basket. There is a tailwind on pharma because of the rupee depreciation, as well as the valuation, the gap which is available in pharma very clearly.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, we'll take a quick break on that note. On the other side, we'll come back and count down to the close this Friday and for this week.
कुछ लोग आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं और ये कुछ लोग बहुत कुछ हासिल करना चाहते हैं और ये कुछ लोग जिंदगी से बेहतर चाहते हैं और अब क्या कहें, कुछ लोग कम इंटरेस्ट पे ही अटके रहते हैं, लेकिन जो बढ़ना चाहते हैं वो सेविंग्स अकाउंट पे 6% इंटरेस्ट को कहेंगे यस। यस बैंक, इंडिया बोले यस।
घूमे नहीं तो क्या किया, तूने कहाँ का दिया, तूने कहाँ का दिया।
मिल्टन, कुछ नया सोचते हैं।
Ready for anything. The new feature-loaded Renault Kwid. Renault, passion for life.
Welcome back. 11,466. So that's how sort of the bulls, I think they want to put up their feet saying enough for this week. There's a 0.5% rally that we've got. We'll look at 11,500 maybe next week. But Anuj, I guess overall, I mean, it's been an interesting and good week for the market, right? We've fought back on a lot of the currency issues. This market has digested the rupee at 70, bad trade numbers. None of that has managed to shake off the bulls.
70 has been digested. Let's put it that way. 70, perhaps even 70, half 71. Not beyond that. Let's not kid ourselves. If it's a one-way move, then perhaps it will have an impact. Also, what's worked in market's favor is that crude prices, didn't. And if we had a combination of rupee at 70 and crude also making a move, that would have been deadly. But the fact that crude's moved lower, I think the market's latched onto that as well. Even the supermarkets, by the way, 4.5% higher right now.
Oh, well, Sudip, speaking of Avenue, I mean, some of these stocks, as they say, are perhaps evergreen stocks. What would you buy in consumption? All of these stocks, none of them come cheap. What would be your top picks now?
Well, if I have to buy one consumption stock now, probably I will go and buy ITC. I think it's looking very, very interesting. Remember, ITC has a large paper business as well, paper boards business. So there has been huge traction on the entire paper because of multiple reasons, including China stopping waste imports and waste paper imports. So there is an opportunity as far as paper boards are concerned in ITC. Apart from that, the FMCG business in ITC is very close to turnaround and starting to make money. I think that should definitely help ITC. There is a existing valuation gap with other large cap FMCG peers. So ITC will be one stock. If I have to go to other kind of FMCG or consumer durable stocks, probably I will look at a Voltas. I think the air conditioner market looks very, very interesting. Whether you compare with the number of air conditioners people have vis-a-vis China, whether you look at the rural electrification, which is gathering momentum, whether you look at the unit price and also the innovation of inverter AC, I think all this augur well for the room air conditioning players and also white good player. Also the GST reduction does help. So overall, it should be good time for the next couple of years for the durable goods players. Voltas, coming from incredible background, I think is definitely a buy at current levels.
Okay, Mitesh, big move happening in cement today. your thoughts, whether it's large caps like Ultratech, mid caps like India Cement, there's a decent move.
See, I think, amongst the large cap, Ultratech and ACC appeal to me. To be very honest, I think ACC is something, which didn't correct in the last few days as the other cement stocks corrected. It did a range of about 1570 to about 1520, broken on the upside. So that gives you first target of around 1620-25. But I think eventually higher levels could be tested. Similarly, if you talk of Ultratech Cement, I think again a stock which has been outperforming, very close to its earlier highs. I think it will hit the earlier highs of around 44.50, where I expect some profit booking to come.
Okay, Ashwani, just a word on Federal Bank, because today has been a really huge Bank Nifty day. Federal is ending at the lowest point of the day. In fact, 4% lower on that stock. Interesting.
Don't play it. See, it's that simple. If something is not performing and it's down 3%, so maybe something is a problem here. Anyway, it's not making highs of the day or 52-week highs. I think it's below 200 DMA as well. So possibly an underperformer. It's very clear which ones are the outperformers. The underperformers, you can just let them be.
Okay, well, that's the day. Just 2 minutes to go before we close things out. So perhaps we can start recapping the numbers. Saruj, I guess today, okay sort of a day, I mean, as of now.
Yeah, very good day. We're almost ending at all-time high. Surabhi, let's see, this 33 points needed on Monday morning. Do we have 33-point gap up? I think that's something that, I'll be asking myself.
We'll also have the rupee open again. So we'll have to deal with that
The
too.
cat will be back. So obviously, let's see how that one changes equation, if at all. But for now, what was interesting is that today you had a rare day where banks, IT, FMCG, Pharma, across the board, the major indices did well. The Nifty Junior was up quite a bit. The Sensex Nifty were up. Mid caps were up. The biggest index gainer was Grasim, but the big move came in Yes Bank. That was up 4.5%. SBI was up 3.5%. Hindustan Unilever made a fresh all-time high. I mean, we're talking about some correction in lever post the results, and it's back to new highs. Tata Steel, Ultratech Cement, in fact, made a massive move in trade today. ICICI, Hindalco, Kotak Mahindra Bank, all these stocks made higher moves. On the way down, GAIL was down about 1.5%, Hero MotoCorp, Eicher Motors. These are a few stocks where we saw some losses. Maruti has been struggling a bit of late. That's the one, still trying to defend its 200-day moving average, but today it was down a bit in trade. But big day for the individual mid-caps as well.
Oh, it's a huge day for mid-caps. I mean, that's the thing. I think when everything is going right for this market, people do start getting a little, perhaps worried. Anyway, mid-cap index 200 points up today. If you talk about the big movers and shakers and lots of stocks, let's start with Avenue Supermarts. This fantastic 4.5% move that we've got just around the closing time. So that's what we've got on DMart. Dishman Pharma 9% up. Stock like Skipper 10% up. HDIL has put on 45% this week, and these are 4 trading sessions we are talking of, minus the Republic Day holiday. Today that stock was up about, HDIL is the one that I'm talking about, 11% up on that stock today. Edelweiss has found buyers, 8% up there. Rights continues to march on, 300 plus on that stock, 8% higher. Paper stocks have had a field day last couple of sessions, and that continued in the form of JK Paper, International Paper, Sejra Sai Paper. A lot of these paper stocks were up and about. Again, fertilizers as a pack moved. So Chambal, GNFC, GSFC, RCF. Coromandel was the one that didn't participate. Most of the other stocks had a pretty decent session. Mishra Dhatu was up about 5 to 6%. So these are the moves that we're talking of. Cement, as Anuj pointed out, cement, some of the names like Dalmia Bharat, India Cements, Ramco Cements, a lot of these stocks up. There's a easing of the pet coke import criteria, it seems. That's what Nigel was pointing out. Maybe that was a big trigger. So these are some of the key gainers of the day that we have seen. Of course, a lot of the PSU banks had a decent session. So beyond the index, whether you're looking at BOB, PNB, Canada, a lot of the PSUs were good, and the index itself is up about 3%. Finally, just to recap some of the losers, Federal Bank, which we just pointed out, NBCC, it seems there's an OFS coming, so 2% down on that stock. Torrent Power, and some of the high flyers like United Breweries and Balkrishna Industries, they've had a great week, but today, Friday, they decided to cool off a little bit. So some profit taking on these names.
Okay, let's take final thoughts then. Of course, Ashwani, for you, it doesn't matter whether it's 11,500 or 550, but for whatever it's worth, you reckon Monday could be the day?
See, I like to see over all time frames who has won. Have the bulls won or have the bears won? And it's clear that this week, since we are closing at the highs of the week, chances are bulls have won. And for Monday, obviously you have to back the bulls. And if globally we see follow through of the overnight rally.
Okay. Ashwani, sorry, we're not having, we lost that link completely now. Mitesh, same question to you. Monday morning, reckon 11,500?
I think if it happens, then you go along very clearly. As I said, I think a lot of stocks are now participating on the upside. State Bank of India, HUL, ITC, etc. So I think there's a good chance that it could happen Monday morning, unless until something negative happens overnight. But once it happens, and I think what has also happened is that in the last few days, the intraday indicators have corrected and are now trying to bottom out. So I think Monday morning could be a good chance that we'll see a gap up. And in case that happens, then I think we could see another 100 points happening very soon. By, let's say, if the breakout happens on Monday, then by Tuesday afternoon, we could be another 100 points higher.
Okay, all right, gentlemen. Well, have a great weekend, and let's see if indeed Monday morning is the 11,500 morning or not. For now, we'll take your leave. A quick break on that note. On the other side, we will come back with our Friday special closing bell recommends. Welcome back. Now, Air India held a board meeting today with corporate giants YC Deveshwar and KM Birla, part of that meeting for the very first time. Now, these individuals have been appointed as board members on the 1st of August with an aim to make the debt-laden airline profitable, some aspects of perhaps turning it around and eventually, hopefully, selling off a stake as well. Ashpreet Sethi is joining in with details. Ashpreet, so any takeaways from this board meeting?
Well, there was a crucial Air India board meeting that happened today. Now, this is for the first time that YC Deveshwar, the ITC top management, and of course, Kumar Mangalam Birla were present at the meeting. Kumar Mangalam Birla was part of the meeting through a video conference, while YC Deveshwar had come down to Delhi for this meeting. In a bite, he's saying that it is like homecoming for him, because remember, he was the Air India chairman almost over 20 years ago. Now, what we did pick up from sources in the morning was that during the board meeting, there were discussions held as far as waiving off certain loan amount is concerned. Remember, the debt is over to the tune of 45,000 odd crores, and also as to what kind of lease that has been given to aircraft holders. Remember, Air India officials have been saying that they are going through a lot of issues as far as paying EMIs towards these loans are concerned. They are taking cost-cutting measures. However, there has to be a solid step taken as far as equity infusion is concerned. Remember, the Secretary of Civil Aviation Ministry, R.N. Chaubey, had said that 2,000 crore rupees will be coming in soon in phases. Air India CMD had told us day before yesterday that salaries have started coming in. But it remains to be seen whether any proposal has been cleared at this Air India board meeting, which had two top corporate management people part of the board meeting.
It is like homecoming for me. I'm delighted to be here on this very prestigious board, and we will do our bit and hope for the best. Board meetings are very confined only to the boardroom. And if anybody has to say anything, it will be the CMD of the company who will make the communication.
Any positive news?
Everything is positive.
When is the next meeting, sir?
We have no idea, not just now.
Okay, well, it'll take a while before they perhaps come to some sort of answers with respect to Air India. Those are veterans of the business. All right, we're sticking with airlines for a bit longer. In our first step to turn around the other ailing carrier, that's Jet Airways. That airline is looking to sublease its smaller aircraft. The move is a part of the larger strategy to cut costs and consolidate operations. Now, how is this going to happen? Utkarsh Chaturvedi has been on that story. He has more details. Utkarsh?
This is one of the first steps by Jet Airways to really turn around the business, to implement the cost-cutting measures. What we are picking up from our sources is that Jet Airways is in talks with TrueJet, which is one of the regional carriers, to sublease 7 of its ATR planes for a period of 5 years. What we're also picking up is that the talks are on for a wet lease. Now, what does a wet lease mean? The wet lease means that not only the plane, but the employees, that means the pilots, the crew, as well as all the maintenance and engineering of the planes will be taken care by Jet Airways. Now, this will serve two purposes for Jet Airways. First of all, if you remember, we had spoken about the fact that how 3 to 4 ATRs at this point of time are grounded because they were running on loss-making routes now. So now the company can really make use of those grounded planes and it will get money out of it. In fact, sub-leases don't give you a lot of money, but at least it will save the cost the company is paying to keep them on ground. Secondly, when it comes to wet leases, you get a lot of money from maintenance and engineering, and also your employees who were fearing for layoffs can get better jobs and get new jobs for the period of 5 years. So this is the first step. As I said, the company is obviously looking to sell the other planes, which are the wide body planes the company has in the process of turnaround, but we will keep you posted on each and every step which Jet Airways takes, if it, for a turnaround process.
Okay, Utkarsh, thanks very much for those details. Well, just a quick run through. Utkarsh did write to TrueJet and Jet Airways on his story. TrueJet has confirmed this news break. They say they are in talks with Jet Airways for subleasing of aircraft. Jet Airways has told CNBC TV18 that they continue to evaluate all possible alternatives to ensure optimum utilization of their fleet. So that's a lot of aviation. So it's time to now take off, perhaps to another place, because it is the weekend. So let's get going. This is Closing Bell Recommends. We've got Manglam joining in with some ideas. Manglam.
A lot of ideas, actually, Surbi. The first thing is that not a lot of movies releasing this Friday, because 2 of them released on Wednesday. So if you haven't caught them, you can perhaps go ahead and catch them, because Wednesday was the 15th August. We had a couple of patriotic films with patriotic fervor releasing. So the first one was Gold, Akshay Kumar, talking about India's first gold victory at the Olympics. So that is something you can catch. The other one is John Abraham's Satyamev Jayate, about an honest cop trying to clean up the system. Both these films have not received the best reviews so far, but if in case you are a compulsive film watcher over the weekends, these are the only options that you have. If you're not, if you're planning to stay indoors like I am and wanting to watch a lot of things online, these are a couple of things you have to, and you have to take my word for it, primarily because I've watched the first one that I'm recommending. It's called Harmony with A.R. Rahman. It's on Amazon Prime, so if you've subscribed to it, definitely catch it. If you haven't, then subscribe to it and catch it, because it's A.R. Rahman who travels across the length and the breadth of the country in search of rare musical gems. He himself travels to Sikkim, Manipur, Kerala, as well as Maharashtra, 4 episodes. And then the 5th episode, he goes ahead, and then there is this ensemble multi-piece, which is a 20-minute song that A.R. has created, which is actually the longest that he's created. To be very honest, this is a visual delight. It's an audio delight as well. And you get to see aspects of A.R. Rahman that you wouldn't otherwise get to see. So big kudos to the national award-winning director for this as well, Shruti Harihara Subramaniam. It comes from the production house of K. Balchandra, who have introduced our country to the likes of Rajnikant, to the likes of Kamal Hassan, and to the likes of A.R. Rahman himself.
What's your Amazon account password again? Okay, sorry, that's offline.
That's only for 5 people, so even if I do say it, the first 5 people will get it. So that is something you have to watch out for. If you're not willing to subscribe to Amazon for this masterpiece, and if you want to watch something on YouTube for free, catch this one. You have Misfield. This comes from the makers of Breakfast with Champions. Now, I've been speaking about Breakfast with Champions with that candid interview that Gaurav Kapoor does with a lot of cricketers. This one is called Misfield, where Shibani Dandekar, she interviews sportspersons' better halves. The season opener came this morning. It was with Aisha Dhawan, who is Shikhar Dhawan's wife. What an interview. What an interview. If you haven't caught it, you catch it already. And if I was slacking at work today, it was because I was watching that interview, we'll be very honest. And
it's Friday post-earnings season.
Yes, it's Friday post-earnings season, and domestic institutional investors not there, so market was, low volumes as well. So I can take that liberty. But a couple of gigs that are taking place in Mumbai this time, unfortunately not interesting enough in the other parts of the country. This one, the Thaira Sadam project. Thaira Sadam is basically curd rice in Tamil. And there are these 3 individuals, Mahesh Raghavan, Ambi Subramaniam, and Bindu Subramaniam. Mark my words, these guys are people you will be talking about, say, 3, 4, 5 years from now as well. I've been following their music for a very long time. Ambi and Bindu come from a big legacy. L. Subramaniam, the violinist, who is married to Kavita Krishnamurthy, the singer. They've produced beautiful offspring, that is Ambi and Bindu, both of them phenomenal musicians. And Mahesh Raghavan, that man makes Carnatic music on an iPad, the app called GeoShred. I actually bought that app because of the video that I watched. And these are a couple of gigs that you can attend. If you're also online, then go ahead and read a beautiful piece of collections that we have on our CNBC Unwind section, a tribute to Aretha Franklin. Now, there is something to do with 16th August and great musicians. Elvis Presley passed away 16th August 1977. 20 years later, 16th August to 1997 was the passing away of Mr. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. And yesterday, 16th August, we lost Aretha Franklin as well, a tribute to her. And then let's talk about some food. There is a beautiful section which I will be looking forward to. We spoke with chefs and critics to rank the best pizzas around the world. Yes, not the country, not the city, not a state, around the world. So that is something you may read. And I spoke about a couple of films, but there are so many movies, so little time. Manisha Lackey, she brings you a fantastic list of regional films that you must binge watch this weekend. So lots to do.
And that is completely true, which is why both Mangalam and I will take your leave right now. We need to take a very quick break. On the other side, we'll have all the commodity market action coming up with Manisha Gupta.